I'm very thankful for you because today is important day for us also. We have special webinar, and I'm very thankful for the participants because it's very actual and it's very global problem. So let's begin our conference. Thank you for everybody who is here, who is participating, and who is listening and watching our webinar.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dilfuza. So yeah, I'm grateful for the branch of Russian State University of Oil and Gas, named after Gubkin in Tashkent City, who invited us to collaborate today and have the joint webinar. So as we've announced, today we'll talk about teaching pronunciation, resources for teaching pronunciation creatively. Okay, thanks for coming, as Dilfuza has mentioned. Yes, and please mute your microphones while you're listening, okay? And if you want to talk, please raise your hands and then you can ask a question. But the best thing would be if you can ask the questions in the chat room. I'll try to keep an eye. Dilfuza will help me, okay? If you see any questions in the chat room, please let me know. And also please help me to mute everyone, okay? Because it will be difficult while I'm presenting. So I'll mute everyone now. Okay, so let's start. So before, pronunciation has become a kind of a Cinderella of all the skills lately, because I say Cinderella because it's kind of a neglected. When we shifted from old methods to communicative language teaching, people started focusing on listening, speaking, reading, writing, right? But kind of pronunciation has been really forgotten. And it is hard skill it's a hard thing to teach, right? And most teachers kind of assume the more they listen, the better pronunciation students will have. It is true to some extent, but there should be certain training and that students should receive in pronunciation, or there should be some corrections that should be done. There are lots of things that we have to take into consideration as well. So it's difficult to just imitate by listening. So, okay, so before we kind of move on to the pronunciation, I like to do the vocal training warm-up, and I do this with my students as well. So let me start. Come on. Hold on. It's not. It should. It is a. Okay. Sorry about that. It's a link, but the link is not working now. I'll just open from here. I've compiled this document with all the resources, and I'll share it at the end so that you can have it. There are more resources than we'll be looking at today, so that you can explore them at your own time. Okay, vocal warm-up. Do you know what it is? It's, the actors, actresses, or people who, public speakers, they do kind of a training to warm up their vocal cords and tongue and everything, articulation, so that they have a clear articulation. And it is recommended to do that when you're going to public speaking, or it's good for pronunciation as well. So let's just watch a couple of minutes and you can try to do it. Can you hear it? No? No, there is no voice? That's weird. Okay. Let me try once more.
Start off by stretching. You're about to go on stage. You ordinarily would,
about
and you
now?
haven't had a chance to properly warm up. So these are just a few quick little things that you can do to get that voice and body ready. So you're going to start off by stretching those facial muscles. Now, you won't look pretty doing this, so I would suggest you don't do it in front of other people, perhaps not in front of a mirror, because you don't want to scare yourself or anybody else. So what you're going to do is just stretch the face, particularly the mouth, as wide as you can, and then you're going to scrunch it all up as tightly as you can. We're going to do this 3 times. Here we go. Stretch.
Actually,
and squeeze.
If you cannot hear, that's okay. You can just see what she's doing. Okay, you don't need to hear what she's speaking actually. You can
so now we're going to blow through the lips just to relax those muscles that have been stretched. So nice and gentle, relax the lips and blow. If you have trouble doing this, try popping your fingers at each side of your mouth and just putting on a little bit of pressure. It may help. If you can't do it, don't worry. Not everybody can. Now we're going to wake up the tongue. So we're going to do something called tongue boot camp. This is where you make a circular motion with your tongue in front of your teeth. It's like when you've forgotten to clean your teeth. Not that I ever do. But it's like when you've forgotten to clean your teeth and you give it a quick once over with your tongue. It's the same sort of motion. So your lips have to be closed and you're going to do 6 circles in one direction and then 6 circles in the other direction. If you do a lot of this type of exercise, then you might want to do more circles. Perhaps start with 8 and then work down to 6, 4, 2, 1, 1. But for now, we'll just start with 6 each side because it should start to ache towards the back. Okay, here we go. So 6 circles. And the other way.
Okay, I'll just stop here. So it was just to give you an idea what it is. There are a lot of them. If you search online, there are like voice warm-ups, as I said, so for singers, actors, or just they're good for developing your kind of warming up your vocal cords and other parts of your mouth that take part in pronunciation, okay? Because our articulation system gets used to the way we speak in our native language, right? And then when you try to speak another language, so it feels a bit different. So therefore it's good to do some kind of a warm up. These kind of exercises, they look funny, but students love it. So it's just a few minutes before the class that I think it's a good idea. Or towards the end, she also gives tongue twisters. I think we all know, like they also help, you know, to warm up all your articulation system.
Feeling that bounce every time. When we've done 10, breathe and relax those. We'll do a couple of tongue twisters. One that most people know. Give me a Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
So I think that's everyone knows, like Peter Pepper picks up pickled peppers, right? So like trying tongue twisters, that's one of the things that you can do. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time on that. I just wanted to give an idea. Is it clear? Can I move on? I'll put the video here in case you want to watch it later. Okay, so good. Okay, now diagnostic tests, right? So like very often we try to kind of understand, we have to understand, assess kind of our students, right? So see what sounds they are mispronouncing, or whether they have problems with stress or intonation, etc. We have to understand, right, kind of where we should focus more. So I want to do some kind of a short test with you. This is anonymous, so don't be afraid to do it. So just answer a few questions. Can you see the poll now? Yes, okay. Yes, please. So I'll give you a couple of minutes. There are just 5 questions about some sounds, yeah? Could you please answer the questions? Yeah, again, don't be afraid. If you choose something that is not correct, that's okay. It's anonymous. No one will notice that you made a mistake. Okay, we have some answers, so go on, come on, guys. Can you all see the poll? Yeah. Try to do in the poll, yeah. Yeah, good. Good, yes. Couple more minutes, just 1 minute, and then we'll end the poll. Good, you're doing good. Okay. Okay, I think that's enough. I'll end the poll. Good. Okay, can you see the results now? Good. Good. Yes. Okay, so let's see. The first one, are sun and sun pronounced the same way? Yes. So 85%, 28 people answered yes. And this is the correct answer, right? Sun and sun, so they are pronounced the same. They are actually homophones, right? So they are pronounced the same, but they have different meaning. Okay, so does basic have an S or Z sound in the middle? So it's kind of 50-50 here. The correct answer is S, basic. It's not basic. Although it seems like should be, because there are 2 vowel sounds, right? Before and after S, but no, it's basic. Are where and where pronounced the same way? And most people said no, and that's the correct answer. That's one of the common mistakes that students make, because where is, where rhymes with air, for example, right? Whereas where rhymes with fur, where fur, for example, something like that. So it's not. Does of have an or sound or v sound? So yeah, we have v, most 67%, yeah, and that's the correct answer. So we have to, that's again one of the common problems. I often hear like people saying off, right? But it's of, it's not of. When you say of, it's O with double F, right? For example, the student of mine, have to pronounce it. It's not student of mine. Okay, if you say of mine, that would be of with O with double F. Okay, and the last question here, does food rhyme with good? Most people said yes, it looks like that, but in reality, no, because food, there is a long oo sound, whereas good, it's short. Although when they look like they look the same, right? But in reality, it's good. We don't say good, right? We say food, but we don't say good. It's good. Okay. Good. Any questions? Okay. Comments? No. Okay. Good. Let's move on to the good. So real much. Okay. Let's say that we'll see another one, another poll. Let's see. There are, so those ones were mainly where and were they actually differ. Yeah, that's right. So they are pronounced differently. So now another poll just has 4 questions. This one, the previous one mainly was about pronouncing words, right? And this one would be about stress and syllables and intonation. Okay, just 4 questions quickly to see. Okay, can you see the poll now? Could you please confirm? Yes, good. Thank you, Elmarat. Yeah, which syllable is stressed in the following word? I will not read it out now so that you can choose it yourself. Yes, good. Yeah, go on, do the test. Poll. How many syllables are in the word pronunciation? Then stress is usually placed on words such as in, on, at. When do we use rising intonation? Okay, just 4 questions. Yeah, thank you. We got the first one. Yeah, go on. Yes, good. $26 people, 27 people voted, 28. Okay, 30. Let's wait a couple of more minutes and then we'll stop. Okay, I'll end the poll. So like after, I'll count till 10, like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'll end the poll. Yeah, there are almost everybody voted, 77% at least. Okay, we'll see the results. Can you see the results? Can you see the results? Good. So the first one, we have circulation. We have, it's kind of a mixture of answers. So is it circulation, circulation, or circulation? Which one is the correct one? So the most answer is circulation, and that's the correct answer, circulation. The second one, pronunciation. How many syllables? Most people said, yeah, half of the 52% said 5, and that's the correct answer. You can try to clap it, right? Pronunciation, right? So that's how we teach kids. Or another way we teach kids to, like here, you put it in your arm, so, and then you like they try to tap it like pronunciation. So see how many parts it goes. Yeah, trying to teaching students the syllables is also important, right? If they don't know what it is, right? Usually they know, but still. Or the stress. You can even start this with their names, like what's your name, right? Like Nodira, Nodira, how many syllables are there? So like Nodira, so it's 3, usually they know. And then like asking stress, which syllable is stressed? Is it Nodira? Is it Nodira? Is it Nodira, right? So depending on pronunciation, it can be all 3 in Uzbekistan, right? So which one you prefer? Yeah, so that raises the awareness about which word, which syllable is stressed, okay? Stress is usually placed on words such as in, on, at. Most people answered no, and it is the correct answer. Why? Why we don't, yeah? They are not content words. So in English, in a sentence, only content words are stressed. Content words are like verbs, adjectives, pronouns, right? But prepositions, articles, linking verbs, they are not stressed. That means you have to pronounce them quickly. You shouldn't say, I am in the classroom, right? I'm in the classroom. We pronounce it quickly because it's not stressed. I'm in the classroom, for example, right? Or the apple is at the table. It's not, right? It's at the table, right? We don't stress the prepositions or the articles as well, okay? Or the linking even words, like, you know, I am, like my name is, right? People like, that's also one of the common mistakes, because in speech, in spoken English, we just don't stress it. And my name's, it's always like it's a connected speech. We join with the previous word, okay? My name's Nodira, okay? It's not my name is Nodira, because is never stressed in English, okay? Next one, when do we use rising intonation? Finished giving information, WH questions, yes, no questions, information you're certain about. Most people answered WH question. Actually, that's not correct answer. The correct answer, yes or no questions. For example, what day is it today? Wednesday, right? Is it Wednesday today? So this is a rising tone, right? The answer would be yes or no. We use rising tone with yes or no questions. With WH questions, we have to use falling tone. For example, what's your name? It's not what's your name. You see the difference? WH questions, again, I'm repeating, they have to be pronounced with falling tone. And the same other options. So finished giving information. So today I'm going to talk about resources for pronunciation. So falling tone, okay? Or information you're certain about, like yes, pronunciation is difficult to teach. It's again falling tone, right? Okay, yes. Good. So you can do these kind of things every day, like every lesson, right? So you can devote like 5 minutes, 10 minutes for that, right? So that will improve your students' pronunciation. Many people like think like, oh, like it's an accent, but it's not an accent. It's not the problem of the accent. It's just the mispronunciation. Just students don't know. Yeah, I'll just, if you're done, I'll just stop this poll. Okay. And yes, what about Dan? You're right. What do you mean? What about Dan? I don't understand what I speak. Every time, for example, you can make this kind of test yourselves, right? Especially with the previous one, right? For example, whether this word rhymes with this, right? You can take the words from the previous lesson, right? The vocabulary, the new vocabulary, and then you can just write on the table or just make a worksheet with pronunciation as well. Like like how many syllables are there, or which syllable is stressed, and also like which word it rhymes with. Does it rhyme, like if you have, I don't know, the headphone, like does it rhyme with phone? I don't remember. Yeah, it's difficult for me to come up with rhymes now, but yeah, like sun and sun, right? Or where and where, so like that, right? So you can come up with your own examples based on the vocabulary that you got, right? So, and again, as I said, it can be just 5 minutes every time, right? And intonation is also good to pay attention, because, yeah, as I said, some people just don't know. And they, that's actually, intonation is one of the things that hardest to learn. And even people who are very fluent in English, but whose language is not like when you say, you sure you're right? Yes, I am, you are. Yes, you have to use it as a contraction, right? I'm right, you're right, yes. And then I lost my thought, what I was saying. Yeah, intonation. So you can actually identify people by their intonation, that they are ESL learners, so that English is not their native language. So it's difficult to imitate the English intonation, especially for some nationalities, okay? I also wanted to mention about the syllables and stress, word stress, right? It's not also so many mispronunciations occurs with this stress, word stress. And especially for some learners, it's really difficult. For example, in Uzbek, mostly the last syllable of the word is stressed. And that's students whose language is, first language is Uzbek, they put the syllable, the stress in the last syllable. And that makes the mispronunciation. For example, let's say develop, that's one of the common mispronunciations, right? It should be develop, right? So yeah, and some languages, they are called, I forgot how they are called. They are time stressed, and what was the second one? I forgot the terminology, sorry. But like Chinese, for example, or Japanese, so every syllable is stressed. They are evenly stressed. They don't have, like in English, it's not like circulation, right? So they would pronounce circulation. So they would stress every syllable, okay? And that's really difficult to teach them. Whereas like in our language, we have stress, but most often it falls on the last syllable, like in Persian as well, in Farsi, if you know, it always falls on the last one. And that's also like they always, learners of Farsi, for example, they always put the syllable in the word stress in the last syllable. And this one about teaching about sentence stress as well, it's important as well, right? So not only word stress, but sentence stress, that's really also important. Okay, so where like as we were talking that here saying I am right, for example, right? It's not should be I'm right. So the stress should be right, or like I can do it, right? So we don't stress the word can, but we stress when it is negative. I can't do it, okay? But when you say can, you say I can do it. But some students pronounce it I can do it, then it's native speakers cannot understand whether it's negative or positive, okay? Because when it is positive, I'm repeating, it's not stress. Okay, any questions so far? Good. No, oops, where did it go? Sorry, I'll reshare. I have here some of the links that, good. So if there's something new, it's good. That means I did my job. So some of the tests were taken from the first and the second, no, the first and the third link. Here, I don't want to go there now, but you can go and do the whole test yourselves, and then you can do it with your students. Can everyone hear me? Guzar seems having problems. Guzar, yeah. Okay. I just want to show this one, the Drive Google Docs that I put together. That's a kind of a diagnostic test that you can do with your students or yourselves as well, right? So we are all learners of English, right? Although we're teachers. So you can do the diagnostics with yourself as well, right? So trying to pronounce all these are kind of common problems, and see if you got them right. And if not, then you have to kind of figure out what you have to correct. For example, the first one is the vowel sounds. The first one is short and long, right? Sleep and slip. That's also one of the problems that our learners have, like sleep and slip, right? Bitter, better. Taste, test. Pen, pan, right? So that's one of the problems, and sounds, right? Pan, like for this, when I'm teaching and I usually, can you see me? Like, it's not looking clear. Okay, I sent the link to the chat room, and you can go there. Yeah, it's a kind of a photocopy, the scanned version, so it might not be very clear. If you want, you can type it yourself. Okay, I didn't have time for that. So for like I usually ask them to put their hands under their chin, under their chin, and they say right? So when it is sound, like pan, cat, your mouth, your jaw should go down, whereas when it's it shouldn't, like pen, tent. Okay, so that's one of the things that you can try to teach them, okay? And others, so I'll just leave this with you so you can explore that. Okay, so somebody asked a question whether I think we should teach pronunciation with detailed explanation. what do you mean by detailed? The things that I'm explaining, do you think they are detailed or not? So, because that's objective, right? So we should draw students' attention to pronunciation. This way or another, right? Of course, I'm not telling, you know, spending the whole like 3 months or 5 months for that, right? Like we used to do, if you remember, like we studied with Dilfuz at university, and the first 3 months was for phonetics. You remember, Dilfuz?
Yes.
Yeah, of course, it's not what I mean. It's not what we should do, right? So spending all this transcription doing, right, and the intonation patterns, which, no, of course not, because that was kind of in isolation, right? But now it should be communicative approach, right? But still you have to kind of draw students' attention to the accuracy of pronunciation as well, right? So yeah, fluency is great, but from time to time, like, and as I was saying, it can be just built into your every lesson. You're like speaking, listening mainly, right? Or reading as well, right? So that you have like 5 minutes, 10 minutes of pronunciation exercises like that, so that they have a clear pronunciation. Accent is not a problem, but pronunciation mistakes, when they cause misunderstanding, that's a problem. Okay? Good. Yeah, you can explore these too. The ones that you will see, there are more tests, and you can test yourself, and they have the explanations as well. Okay, so another great tool that I wanted to talk about was Youglish. Have you ever heard about Youglish? Can you write in the chat box? Say yes or no. Yes. Ah, I showed Nazima. Nazima therefore knows, right? Yeah. Okay. Good. If no, then that's good. Then I'll teach you. I'll show you. It's a great tool. So it's youglish.com. It's a kind of a sister of YouTube. It's actually the YouTube, all these tools of YouTube. What it gives, it's kind of a corpus corpus of all the videos that are available on YouTube, like TED Talks, media interviews, talk shows, you know, some documentaries. And you have a search. So here you can search any word that you want to hear the pronunciation. Is there any word that you want to search? Let's say you don't know, like, I don't know. Yeah, okay. The one that we had some problems, right? Circulation. So when you click on say it, it gives, you see it, about 3,000 videos where
it's also like a form of respiration or circulation.
Can you hear the video or not? It's just you have to tell me. Sometimes the sound gets disappeared. Yes, good. Okay, yes. Have you heard that extract where she used the word circulation? Yes, okay. So then you see here, you just click next, then you hear the next extract where this particular word is pronounced.
Painting. And these objects were clearly in circulation in Seville, and the pieces would have been readily available to both Juan and Francisco de Zurbarán. Indeed, they appear in
Then you can click on next again. Yes, you can find
it appeared in a
phrases
small
as well.
circulation, Eurosceptic.
Yes, yes, you can find phrases as well. My names, for example. my internet is slow today. Is it because I'm sharing my screen?
My name's John. I run a dance company.
My name's right. So next one.
My name's Enrico, and I'm an
exceptional. My name's Steve Smith.
Okay. Yeah, it can be a phrase as well. And here you see the pronunciation types. Accent, you can choose all accents, or you can limit your search to US American accent or British accent or Australian accent. Okay. Yeah, there's no Canadian pronunciation because it's the same as
my name's John.
American.
I run a dance company.
So that's another cool thing that they have. And also they give kind of a tips here. If you scroll down, they kind of give tips how to improve your pronunciation. Yes, you liked it. Then there is a even better one. So I'll show you. If you sign in, so if you log in, so you have to sign up. Okay, so then I'll just log in because I signed up. And when you sign up, then you go to my content. Well, when you do the search, okay, now let me, go to the last query. So my names, right? So when I say, when we say it, I forgot to show it.
My name's John. I run a dance company along with my.
Here it says save, so you can save it. Okay, click on save. Another thing here, if it is too fast for your learners, they can choose here the lower speeds. You see the normal, so like 0.75 can be 0.5. So they will then, the speakers will speak slower.
My wife, the company is called Tigerbot.
Yeah, they're a bit sleepy, right? So yeah, they may kind of play around with that. And so once you kind of save it, then it appears in your content. So there will be all the ones that you saved. So under my words. So I, saved some of the words so that I looked at. So here, then you have to edit. No, your tracks will be in the previous one. So here you can just add your words. For example, let's say the word that we searched was circulation, right? You just write the term and submit, and it already generates the meaning automatically. It's kind of a dictionary that they have. Okay, so then if they click on this button, then they can listen to the videos, and then if they click on the D, it gives kind of the dictionary explanations, right? It gives kind of the more meanings and which synonyms, yes, and then some of the, you see some sentences where this word is used. What is good about this? Then you can ask your students, do this kind of, so this is kind of a dictionary that they have, right? So they might do, they are what we like usually say vocabulary log, right? But it's important to for them to know how to pronounce that word as well, right? Or to be able to hear how this word is pronounced. So for example, you can then ask your students to record their voice just by reading out these sentences, right? So that they practice pronouncing this particular word. So what it gives this Youglish, here under my tracks, you can see your the tracks that you have searched. Okay, so you can save your and so as you've seen, so it can be not only words, but can be phrases. So let me go back. Okay, let's go back. Why it is good? Because, you know, usually when we teach words and then they may look up in the dictionary, right, where they says pronounce,
John.
right?
I run a dance company along with my wife.
Pronunciation in isolation, right? So like, and it's pronounced just once, right? But it will not give them idea how it is pronounced in a connected speech. But this ones gives them the idea how this word is pronounced, what words come before, what words come after, whether it's stressed or not, right? So it gives in a connected speech and context. And also it gives a variety of context, right? Also, it is good to hear how different people are pronouncing it, right? Some people pronounce it faster, some pronounce slower, right? Or then you can also choose which accent you want them in practice, right? They can choose, like maybe it can be different, or it can be like whether American or Australian or British, so they can choose one to focus on, the one that they want to kind of imitate, right? Nowadays, it's actually, there is no difference which accent you speak, or which, it's not accent actually, which pronunciation version you adopt, right? But kind of, it's a good idea not to mix them, right? So if you speak like British English, you speak like British pronunciation, and then if you speak American, so you pronounce it American English. So it's good to adapt one. I'll show you one more thing with this. Yeah, let me go to the main page. That might be great for, so here are some advanced search options as well. So you can actually search by word class. For example, you want call only verb or noun. Or you want phrases like lovely only in questions, or lovely in exclamations. Or you can say whether, like by gender, only male people, like men speaking, pronouncing this word, or females. Or certain people, that like Obama or power as Clinton is pronouncing. How would you do that? Like here is more information on that, so you can mix them. You can look at it yourself. So let me show you one thing. So that, and another thing is that can be topic. That would be probably the most interesting. So let's say extraction, right? And topic is oil, right? For example, extraction, the word extraction is used in different contexts. But we want, like we are teaching students oil and gas, for example, and we want the examples only from this topic, right? So therefore you can put a hashtag and the topic that you want. And then when you click oil, so it will give the context only related to this area. Okay? Not extraction in other areas. Yeah, so this one you see.
The other method of extraction is what's called the in situ. And here, massive amounts of water are.
The next one.
In addition, about 3% of the recovered gas is lost in the extraction and escapes into the atmosphere.
Clear? So yeah, it gives you kind of, then if you click here, so it gives, you can save it. Let's say, okay, it's saved. And when you go to your content, it's there, and you can actually see other sentences as well, right? So that you can practice when you, I saved it in the under my words here, extraction. Oh no, I didn't. Okay, but if you save it, then you can see kind of more examples, right? So that you can give those examples to your students to practice, okay? Or you can choose, for example, as we said, like with here, if you've seen like philanthropy, hashtag Bill Gates. Like I want to hear how Bill Gates is pronouncing the word philanthropy. Yeah, and then it will give me the videos only with Bill Gates, for example. Okay. Yeah, any questions about English? No? Yeah, I'll leave that for you. Played it begins from beginning in your video begins from the words. It shouldn't. Did you, Abdulwahid, did you write here a word? Let's say power. Say it. It shouldn't. I don't know. You just write a word.
Capture one feels when one bears witness to the power.
Maybe are you moving the cursor yourself? Don't move anything. Maybe you moved it yourself. Yeah, that's another option. If you like the video, kind of, then you can go to the YouTube and watch the whole of the video or use it, right? Or you can click on like watch later, and then so that it's on your playlist so that you can watch it later. It shouldn't. If you didn't move the cursor yourself, Abdulwahid, it shouldn't. It's a free, yes. It's no, you don't need to download. It's just online. It's just like YouTube. You don't need to download anything. Well, actually, I don't know. I haven't tried it. Maybe there is an app on mobile. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it, but it's on the web. Yeah, for sure. Okay, good. Yes, good. Yeah, probably you move the cursor. Yeah, okay. If you don't move anything, it shouldn't. Good, good. Okay, so yeah. For example, yeah, as I was saying, not only words, but it can be phrases. So for example, one of the things, how's it going, right? So it's not how is it going, right? So that if you want to draw your students' attention, how's it going? Okay, so that it is natural speech. Okay. Let's move on. Next one, next cool tool. So the drawback with the English is that you don't pronounce anything, right? It's kind of more one way. You just listen it, right? And then you can practice on your own. Okay, so next one. So this one is a good one to kind of trying to record your voice, and it kind of gives you feedback. It assesses, gives you scores to what extent you're pronouncing the words correctly or the phrases. So the speech ace, yeah, for example, this one. So it says, I live. Okay, I tried it. So you see, I live. So you click on it and oh, you see, I did not very well now. So it gives me 78%. So I can try better. I live. Okay, 93. Okay, so students are given several words and phrases. I live. So they click on this and here. I live. I live. I live. Okay, so I didn't do very well. I made the E a bit longer than it should be. So I can re-record saying I live. And it's got it 100%, you see? Because in the first one I did I live. E was a bit longer than it should be. It should be short, it's I live. Because it's sound, it's not E sound, okay? So yeah, you can practice like that for yourself or your students as well. So you see there, know how to go to the next one. I think should be here. Yes, here you continue, okay? You hear, you listen. Work. You work. You work. Oh, let's see what it gives me. Yeah, I did it twice, yes. You work. Yeah, better. Okay, this way you can practice. It gives you kind of scores. You can play with it. Okay. I'll go back to the kind of yeah, there are different things that you can ask your students to practice. Or as again I said, so every lesson you can build in like 5 minutes one of these, right? So that they can practice. It's usually they love recording their voice, right? Yes, I'm happy that you liked it. Okay, yeah. All right, so yeah, that's another one that I wanted to share. Yeah, let's move on. Yeah, speeches. You can also sign up for this. Yes, and then it will save your scores. Okay. Another cool tool is called Tube Quizzard. Have you heard of this one? Great, yes, there are new ways, yes. Yeah, that's the thing, actually. Pronunciation was kind of very boring, right? And people therefore started just ignoring it, right? But there are so many cool tools nowadays with the advent of technology. So you can make it really interesting for your students and for yourself as well, right? Okay, Tube Quizzard, it's instant quizzes for any subtitled YouTube video. So here are, so you can practice listening for grammar, for example, vocabulary in context, spelling, etc. We'll choose pronunciation for listeners. So you can choose the level of you according to Safer. Can be A2 up to C2, right? So let's say B1. So you see there are videos where they are drawing attention to particular pronunciation, like for example, vocalized L, silent R, glottal stop, disappearing sounds, what else? Blending into new sounds, linking between words, etc. Let's choose any and this one and see. Okay, so see what it looks like. Okay, you just click on that. Yeah, it gives the information how we should pronounce L. That in some British accents, L sometimes gets replaced by vowels like vowel-like sound, like film might sound like theme or film. Okay, so that L is very kind of fuzzy. So here you see it generates quiz. You as students, and you have to listen to the video and then type the word that you hear here.
And I also wasn't quite bad enough to be kept after school. I walked
after school, right? So it's, as she said, to be kept after school. So it was a bit quick, right? Too quick. You can again here playback speed. You can make it slower. And then, yeah, let's see, well done, it was after school. Okay, so they have to listen to the words or phrases that she's pronouncing and fill in the gaps. Because I chose, I think, B2, C1, I think, so they're giving me some harder examples.
That nice center line where
okay, that was
except for how I felt.
Sorry, that was too slow. Let's see. Yeah.
I had big dreams. Shock. From as young as I can remember, I have dreamed of becoming a professional dancer. There are certain memories from my childhood that I would really rather forget. But during those times of immense pain, I found myself instinctively walking over to my mother's CD player, cranking up the volume to drown out the noise, and letting my... It's hard to describe how it felt,
how it's spelled, right? So yeah, yeah. So they have to fill in the gaps. Okay. Yes, great. Good. Yeah, they can do that. Or you can kind of.
I had got in.
You can do this. You can kind of print this page, right, and then play this video, and then ask them to fill in the gaps, right, while they're listening. There is another thing with this is you can go to train with your video, and if you don't like the videos that are already there, you can choose any video from YouTube, but make sure that it should have subtitles, okay? So, and then it will generate quizzes to any YouTube video that you find. So if you have a URL, you can copy and paste it there, here. Or if you don't, but you just want to find on something specific, let's say I want to find, I don't know, let's say oil. I don't know, let's see what it gives us about oil, right? And it will give us several videos about oil. Let's see, oil and gas, whether it will give me anything. Yeah, it is generating, like let's say petroleum here. It can be any topic that you teach, right? And it already, you see, generated quizzes. Can be grammar, like singular, plural nouns, etc. Can be pronunciation, for example, top 22 word chunks, let's say, right? Yeah, you click on that, and it's the same here. You see the quiz and the video, right? For them to listen and fill in the gaps. Okay? Does that sound good? It's great for listen, yeah. With songs, yes. That's songs, yeah, that's one of the most common ones that we do, yes, with songs. But with these ones, they are connected speech, right? So songs, they are not kind of natural speech, right? If they are songs, right? So they're not connected speech. That's one of the beauty of this one, right? And the second thing is that it gives them focus on certain areas, because in songs, usually when you do it, can be you just randomly take out some words, right? And it can be like kind of a vocabulary focus, right? But here you can focus on certain like pronunciation, even like, oh, here, like how they are pronouncing these kind of sounds, for example. Yes, it's good. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it can be used for teenagers or adults or, yeah, anyone, actually. Great. So, yeah, sometimes they are not pronounced correctly. You're right. In songs, sometimes they are not pronounced correctly. Yeah, that's true sometimes, right? It's because they are songs, right? So you have to be, that's a creative way. Okay. Right, let's go back to our presentation. They mix up words too. Yeah, sometimes they do. So that was to Quizzard. Next one, okay. And the last one that I wanted to mention is maze. This is what it is, maze, like what we say, like a labyrinth, right? So they have to try to find their way out. What I usually do is I just go to Google and click on the pronunciation mazes, and it gives several of them. So let's try to do this. Let me see if I can. Can you try to annotate this one? It's not giving me. Do you know what is annotate? So you remember we tried it last time. Why I cannot see it myself? Did I turn it on? Okay, in Zoom, you know, there is a function annotate, right? So the pen, can you see that on your screens? I cannot see that myself. Okay. Okay, I cannot see that now. You know what I mean? I think I think I turn it off. Because let me see. Maybe that's not possible when I'm doing them. Okay, anyway, so you can do that, and the idea is that, so in this case, students have to choose the words that ed ending in verbs, they pronounce as t, not id or d, like booked, right? Which words? So and then the next idea is that they have to find their way till the end. So here, booked a room, right? So then which way we should go? Checked in or added oil? It's obviously checked, right? Because added, it's id sound at the end. Then printed, it's id, asked. So we can go asked. And then kissed, then kicked, jumped, walked, worked out, and watched. Okay, other words would be might be a bit different sound. Okay, so they will have to draw these. You can print out this one, or you can use this on Zoom as well. Now I cannot find that drawing. You remember last time I showed you how to draw on Zoom? So you can ask them so that they can draw on that as well. The function is called annotate. Maybe I turn it off. I don't remember, so I cannot see it now on my screen. Annotate, yes. Yeah, you can find it. So here, I'll take you to what I just do. As I said, I can just Google search is the best, whatever you need. I just write pronunciation mazes, and when I go to images, it gives me several of them. I can choose whichever I need for my purposes. So it's against ed as pronounced t, or can be here, melon, coffee, hotel. So I think it's a kind of some hotel, surprise, July, nation. Yeah, I think one of the oh, here, for example, gave. I think it's they have to choose the words that are pronounced with a sound, right? Gave, plain. They have to go then plain, way, rain, hate, hate, height. That's I. Hate, pace, wait, wave, states, main, may, eight, late. Okay, this is the way they have to find their way. Okay, so yeah, it can be different on different things. Or this one, I don't know if it's visible or not, with pronouncing the apostrophe, right? Whether it's a separate syllable or not. Is it Alice's or Alice's? So Alex's or Alex. So things like that. So you can practice on that as well. Okay. So this one you can do in print, or as I said, you can do it online as well. Another thing that I wanted to recommend, this is the Future Learn MOOC. If you know what is MOOC, that's a massive open online courses available, so for free. This is on Future Learn. It started quite recently. You can, it says April 6th, so it's still available, so you can still see its content. I would really advise you to sign up. It gives a kind of overview of all the problematic areas in pronunciation. So you can practice this for yourself, okay? So this is the, and then I put the resources, all the resources that I mentioned today, and some more for you to explore on this document. Yeah, sorry, I have too many things open. Yeah, this, it will take you here. Let me share the link in the chat room as well. This one will be available in our group as well. So I'll post it after the webinar. Okay, there is the doc. So I created with some of the resources that we looked at during the webinar, but also some more that you can browse. So there are lots of the things on minimal pair worksheets, and these are very important. As I was saying, you see like sheep or ship, sleep, slip. That's one of the mistakes that we do, like people whose native language is Uzbek or Russian, let's say, or Karakalpak. So that's one of the mispronunciations that we have. And even sometimes I have to control myself when I'm pronouncing. And then if I'm mispronouncing, my kids always, like, they're kind of confused. They look at me and say, no, Mom, you're not pronouncing correctly. Like, for example, like stickers, right? We say that in Uzbek or Russian, stickers, right? And then when I say like that, my kids who are kind of whose first language is English, so they're like, let me say, no, what is that? You're not pronouncing it right. It's stickers, because it's a short vowel. Stickers in English. It's not stickers. Okay, for them, it's a different word. The same, because you say like sheep and ship, it's a different word, right? Or like, as we were saying, pen and pan, right? Bat, bad. So they are different words. Or there are some pronunciation games, activities that you can find. So there are tongue twisters. So they are also great, right? For developing articulation and pronunciation. Super segmentals, so they are this about sentence stress. There are more practice that you can find there. Then this one is website is also great. It's called Business English. It has several things there, like commonly mispronounced words, pronunciation changes in words that are both nouns and verbs. Yeah, that's also things that not many teachers teach, and not many students are aware of, like present and present, right? When it's noun, so the stress is on the first syllable, and when it is verb, it's on the last syllable, right? Record, record. Insert, insert. Mistake, mistake. Okay, when it's a verb, so the pronunciation changes because of the stress. The stress is on the last syllable. Yeah, here. See, or conduct, conduct. Attribute, attribute. Combat, combat. Conflict, conflict. Contest, contest. Contract, contract. Decrease, decrease. Impact, impact. Increase, increase. Insult, insult. Object, object. Permit, permit. Present, present. Proceed, proceed. Progress, progress. Project, project, and etc. You can do this drill as well. Okay. Okay, great, thank you. Yeah, you can view other resources as well. So let me, yeah, minimal pairs. So I think they're really important and you have to practice them. Then when your students are ready, so you can ask them to record themselves, of course, right? For that, there are lots of tools. They can use their phone as well, right? Their Telegram, for example, right? But if they're using their computer, their laptops, they can use some web available tools as well, Vokaru or SpeakPipe. So they are the same. If you want, I can show you how to do that, so that they can record their voice and send to you, right? So something. So if you go to Vokaru, so you just click on this button. Yeah, I have to allow the microphone. You just, students record their voice and then they click to stop. They can hear the microphone. They can hear what they've recorded and then they can save and share. It generates a link, then they can download it. Or if they don't like it, they delete it. They can take the link and they send it to you, for example. The same SpeakPipe. Also, this strange words pronunciation. Let's listen to this and see. Or is there any volunteer who wants to read it? So I'll just share.
This is the musical intro to the wonderful Jimmy Jams.
Okay, so sorry. It's a bit. I'll skip the intro. Okay, it's taking some time to load.
Diagnostic Trinité titled
Okay.
The Chaos.
Okay. Yeah, just
Dearest creature in creation, study English pronunciation. I'll teach you in my verse. Sounds like corpse, core, and horse, and worse. I'll keep you.
It's a bit fuzzy. I don't know why today, right? So you cannot see it nicely. So, but it's available. It's available here, but I don't know why today. It should be nice and clear. Or you can. No, it's the same. Let's see if this one is a better version. So, and they were in the internet as well, so you can just Google, you know, the pronunciation poems.
Diagnostic Trinité titled The Chaos. Dearest creature in creation, study English pronunciation. I'll teach you in my verse. Sounds like corpse, core, and horse, and worse. I'll keep you, Susie, busy. Make your head with heat grow dizzy. Tear and I, your dress will tear. So shall I, oh, hear my prayer.
That's right, I didn't want to pay. So it's just that English is notoriously difficult to the pronunciation. English pronunciation is notoriously difficult, right? As we all know, like the same kind of the words that look the same, they're pronounced differently, like tear and tear, right? So it's the same word, but it's pronounced differently depending on the context, right? Or like, you know, like corpse, but then course. So a horse, but worse, right? So there are different sounds. You can Google that. I don't know why it's this. It was a better version. I'll try to find and replace this to a better version. It was a much better version, which you can see. Yeah, I mean, you can also ask your students to practice some kind of difficult words to pronounce where they have to differentiate the sounds. Okay, great. Thank you so much. I think that's it for today from me. If you have any questions, I can take a couple of questions. Yeah, but mainly people were thanking me. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm happy if you like them. Yes, I will. I will, Shosanam, share the resources via Telegram channel. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Turgonoy, would you like to say something? Good. Good, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, while if you're not teaching in summer, but just try all this for yourself so that you improve your own pronunciation, right? Because there is always room for improvement. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dilnavas. I'm happy if you found it useful. Good. Yes, yes, sure. Practice it for yourself, or you can, you know, you can also record your voices and then share with your kind of study buddy, right? You might have with a colleague, right? And say, could you please give feedback on my pronunciation, whether you see any kind of mistakes, right? So, good. Two people raised hands. Do you want to say something? If you want to say something, you can unmute yourself and say, yes, Bunafsha. Oh, thank you. Yes, sure. It's great for you too as well. Yes. And that's what I mean. It's been, pronunciation has been neglected for several years. Long after this audiolingual approach. It used to be audiolingual approach in 70s, 80s, where there was a lot of focus on pronunciation, but then they moved from it completely and then it became kind of forgotten. So, and it shouldn't be. Okay, who, is there,
Nodira.
Sorry, I muted everyone because there was a background noise, but somebody wanted to talk. Could you please unmute yourself and talk?
I would like to thank you, first of all. I am the teacher with the worst pronunciation because my first language is German and I work for a German company, you know. You said that accent is not a bad thing. It encourages me. But at my time, I'm 77. The chair consists of people. Somebody knows grammar as a professor. Somebody speaks very well because naturally is born so. I think the chairs must be create like a team of people. Somebody get good pronunciation, for example. If we do not know something, we will ask, pronounce for us. To write Biri, for example. I remember the order of our president in Samarkand at University of 30 people to create a team. What is your suggestion? What is percentual ratio of people speaking correctly in comparison to people who know business English or arts scores and so on? What's your suggestion for that?
Okay, thank you. So as for the percentage, I have no idea because I haven't done any research, so I don't know how many people are pronouncing or mispronouncing and what are their pronunciation kind of problems, right? I have no idea, so because I haven't done the research, but still I think every person has certain pronunciation mistakes because English is not our native language, right? So, and therefore it's kind of lifelong improvement, right? And it is okay, right? So, but in most cases, we're not aware of our mistakes, right? But once we're made aware, then we can improve it. And then your comment about that in the chair, there should be somebody who knows grammar well, somebody pronunciation well. I think every teacher should try to know, right, everything. And if they don't know, so as I said, there are so many resources nowadays online. You don't have to rely on one person, like, could you please pronounce this correctly? And that person shouldn't be kind of a role model, right? So because like, try English, for example, right? So how many, lots of people pronouncing it slightly differently, and they are native speakers anyway, right? So yeah, I think there are so many resources that you can check the pronunciation online, I would suggest, rather than asking somebody else, because, you know, they may like have like only one way of pronouncing, American way or a British English, right? But then they say, oh no, this one you're not pronouncing correctly. In fact, it might be just a different version of pronunciation, right? So I would just advise to check online. Okay, if no further questions, thank you so much. Have a great, what's that, good night, right? It's a good day for me. Yeah, see you, stay tuned to our webinars. We have another webinar coming on Friday. Rohotoy Boltayo will talk on how to win Chevening Scholarship. She will learn about, you will learn about Chevening Scholarship, how to apply, and what are the tips and tricks to win that. She will talk about her experience doing master's degree in the UK. Okay, thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you very much. Nodira, bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jamila.
We love you.
Yeah.
We love you.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, thank you to, again, the, yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you, Nodira. Everything was informal. Everything was perfect. It was well organized and it was very informal.
Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for the cooperation. Okay, great. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.